Boxing logic is an optional part of the process of releasing items for picking and grouping items on a picking route. If an item requires packaging, then the boxing logic can help determine the smallest box for the items to most efficiently fit into. Boxing logic is designed to select a suitably sized box and optimize the maximum capacity of that box for the set of items on a specific picking route. After you set up boxing logic, you can define the dimensions and boxing requirements of an item. The picking and shipping functions will then determine whether multiple items can be boxed together dependent on the box size requirements. For example, if you have 10 items to be shipped to the same address, it may be optimal to pack them all together in a medium-sized box, instead of having them shipped separately in 10 small boxes. A box name will be assigned to the picking route, and the picking routes will be split per box. Alternatively, if you do not want items to be boxed, such items that have already been suitably packaged, then you can select the Ship Alone checkbox for the item. This means that the item is already suitably packaged by itself and should not be put into another box. The boxing logic automatically finds the most efficient way of boxing items and factors in weight, volume, and dimensions. For example, 90 items would be packaged together in a single box, appropriately sized together with the packing materials, instead of 3 boxes of 30 items. If the limit of the items of a certain dimension per box is 100, and 120 items are picked, then boxing logic automatically boxes 100 items together in one large box and 20 items together in a smaller box. The maximum number of lines per picking list could be less than what is on the order. Items can be selected for picking according to user-defined specifications. For example, if a courier collects items to be shipped at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then you can specify that the corresponding picking list will be distributed at noon. Alternatively, if items that are shipped together by air have a higher priority, you can prioritize picking lists that only contain those items. To use this boxing logic, you must enable it. So let's take a look at that in AX. We'll start by enabling it in the Inventory and Warehouse Management parameters. I'm already here in the Inventory Management module, and in the Setup folder, I'll open the Inventory and Warehouse Management parameters form. Then, on the General tab, you'll want to activate the boxing logic by selecting the Boxing Logic for Picking Workbench checkbox. Now that it's been activated, we can start to configure products for the boxing logic. We'll go to the Released Products form, which is found in Product Information Management. Then we'll open Released Products. We'll select the item and then click Edit in the Maintain group. Here on the Delivery tab, like we reviewed in our last lesson, you can see the Ship Alone and Apply Boxing Logic for Picking Workbench checkboxes. The next thing, which is critical for boxing logic to work, is configuring the item dimensions and weight information. This is found on the Manage Inventory tab. You'll want to enter the net weight and tear weight of the item, in addition to the physical dimensions. If the item does not have dimensions, there is no way for AX to know if the item will fit into the box. Once you've entered this information, you'll want to move on and set up boxes. The boxing information is set up in Inventory Management. Then, underneath the Setup area, we'll go down to the Boxing Logic folder and open up Box Definitions. you'll want to create one boxing definition for each different size of box that's available in your warehouse. You'll click the new icon and give the box a name. Oftentimes, this will be the rough dimensions of the box. You could also use something like small, medium, and large. For my example, we'll create one that's 10 by 14. Then, on the Dimensions tab, you'll specify the depth, width, height, weight limit, and maximum utilization. So, we'll say that this box is 10 by 14 by 14. The weight of the box is 0.2 pounds, and the weight limit of the box is 25 pounds. This calculates the volume for you automatically. In the maximum utilization field, you'll specify the percentage of how much this box can be filled. If you set the maximum utilization to 100, then the box will be filled completely, which will leave no room for other packaging materials. If packaging materials are important for your items, especially if they're fragile, you'll want to set the maximum utilization lower. So for my example, I'll set it to 75%, which will allow 25% for other packaging materials. I would continue this process by clicking the New button and setting up each boxing size that is available for my packers to pack the items into. Now that we've completed the setup, we can start to run the picking workbench.